Had a good little break. I know I took a couple days off from the stream, right? Dealing with a little bit of sickness, but we're back today and we are ready to rock and roll. So, jumping right into it, we can see that the Globex session here really has not done much. Still have this poor high and this poor low, trading inside the upper third of yesterday's range, right? The upper half of yesterday's range, halfbacks around here. So say about the upper third, very tight range. And you can see, I wouldn't really call this a 45-degree angle, but very kind of weird looking shape there. But a very kind of neutral profile, really not able to get anything. And I think that's due to most likely the earnings coming out today. Definitely have some bigger names coming out this morning, or this afternoon after the market closes. So that could be what everyone's kind of waiting on for these Microsoft and these Google earnings before they start to really push themselves into these serious positions or bigger positions. And that would make sense, right? You don't want to get too over leveraged, and then all of a sudden Google comes out and misses their earnings, which I doubt that they're going to, but if they did, a lot of people could be caught off sides, and that could be a big mistake. So, but just kind of taking a peek at how the profiles are kind of forming up here. Something that I'm thinking and that I'm going to be monitoring for is really just this continuation to the upside. We have this big bracket, and if you get a chance to take a peek at the trade view, this bracket kind of ends like right here, and we could even look at it on a daily time frame. We'll pull over this other chart here. You can kind of see, we're pretty much, oops, that's a terrible line. So pretty much just like kind of in this little bracket right here. And this is really just kind of a balance, right? I know it's not your traditional like 3-day balance here, and a little 4-day balance here, and a little breakout from balance, and we'll keep monitoring for continuation. It's a longer time frame bracket, right? Something that we definitely pay attention to here and helps us maintain that perspective, right? And so as we're getting ready or getting to the top of this, something key that would be interesting to see is to see the market kind of balance up here, and that would increase the odds that it breaks. And when it does break, if it does break, we want to monitor for continuation. That's going to be our first thought, right? We've put in some good excess. We've moved off the lows. We're staying in a decent uptrend. We still even have some space here, right? If we were to take this low here and give us a nice little trend line, you can see that we're still, there's still some space here, even if the market were to just trade sideways before breaking this trend. And typically, trends that are broken by time are not really as important as trends that are broken by price action. Morning, Peter. Morning, Tommy. Morning, Lecker. Morning, Adam. And so we talked about this yesterday in the TPO chat. This is kind of the key level that I'm watching, and the reason being is we can kind of see all of the previous price action that has happened, or previous levels that have happened in there, right? We see it acted as support here, acted as resistance here, acted as support here, acted as support here, acted as resistance here. So it makes sense as the market looks to break up above this level. If we can get continuation that 3900-ish area, and you can see I have 3922 to 3889 kind of mapped out there as an area that the market's going to be attracted to, and that would be a shorter term trend line right here from basically back from the high on August 16th. And so breaking into that level would make sense if they're able to break out, right? Some of these shorts kind of relieve their stops, and then we'll see how this acts, if it acts as resistance and we get one of these looks that we've had, or does it act as support and pops up and bounces above and starts to head towards this major trend line from the all-time high, right? And so that'll just be something that we are keeping our eyes on as the market continues on the day today. As far as intraday levels, right, what I'm looking for is I'd really like to see this 70-74 level get tested. We have some of these mechanical levels here And even these halfbacks, if we break this out here, you can see, you know, this HI low here is right off the halfback from yesterday. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to say if it's really mechanical, right? Just a fair price to buy below value. But I would like to see it get tested at least and see if these buyers that stepped up there yesterday are still there. We have some weak structure here. That's why I'd like to see that get cleaned up. Some more weak structure here. I'd like to see that get cleaned up. And then, you know, maybe a little check below value, and then the market trades a little bit higher. But the key really will just be to watch this Globex low and Globex high. Unless one of these levels is able to get broken or get taken out, where the market could just balance up here inside the previous range. Morning, Dan. And we'll have to, you know, we'll have to be patient for that. We're opening up most likely inside yesterday's range. We do have some news coming out at 10 Eastern time, which is about 30 minutes after the market opens. That could be a little bit of a market mover as well. But most likely we're going to see some choppy price action to start the day for sure. Heading over to take a little peek around the block here. Just look at this on the daily. I think it's more effective on the daily. So we'll start with the dollar. Right, we can see the dollar is downtrending, still heading lower, kind of breaking below this trend line. And this trend line is all the way back from, is this August? So that high that we were watching, dollar started making higher highs, that high in the ES before it started making lower lows. Excuse me. Is it's that same line, so they're both pressing against that same line. You can see the Australian dollar really trying to make up, kind of looking like a bear flag now if you're a TA person. The euro really trying to climb up back to that $1 mark. I think Europe or the UK made an extremely good decision recently, and they hired the new prime minister is 42 years old, right? One of the youngest politicians. I think he is the youngest ever prime minister ever in the UK. I don't know, you know, if he's popular over there or not, but I think it's a really good decision to hire someone young. He also has a finance background, so that might be helpful for them. So good for them. You know, one of the smarter decisions that we've seen in politics, I think, in a while. We've, you know, in the US, we were stuck on all these politicians that are 1,000 years old, and I think what they're doing over there is actually pretty smart. Bitcoin, trying to break trend here. Had a little peak above trend yesterday. You got that 50 moving average on the daily up here at the 20K. You know, it makes sense. You're still in a pretty, you know, pretty wide bracket here for Bitcoin. This is a news related move here, but still in a pretty wide bracket for Bitcoin. Oil pressing right up against the trend. I'm really watching that 86.74 level. That's kind of the break. I think a break above that could really take oil higher. Not that that's what I want to see, but you know, just looking at it there. Bonds, you know, really not doing much. A little bounce off the low there, but not too much. Apple here, Apple kind of leading the way, and this is another thing that we saw last time. And this is in the trade view. I didn't type it out or anything, but just something that you can clearly see. If we pull up this map here, you can see, you know, a lot of stuff down over 20%. Tesla getting hammered 40%, but Apple 15%. So Apple's kind of leading the charge on the upside. And this is what happened last time we got this move up. You know, Apple started to go first, so everyone started piling into Apple. Then everyone started piling into Microsoft, and then, you know, Google, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, they get some love after that. But, you know, this is kind of the key start, Apple. So to watch Apple really is going to be the key. And Apple above that 155 level, 155 level we've talked about, seems like for ages now on Apple will be the key. If Apple can get above that 155 mark, there really could be a rally coming into the market here. AMD just really stuck in this low balance right here below that 0 gamma level, unable to really kind of get anything going. You know, just struggling. These chip makers are pretty much just waiting for Nancy Pelosi to come out and put in some good word with them, but they haven't haven't had anything yet, so we'll kind of see there. Let's go ahead and update these levels real quick. Make sure they're up to date. And so we can see AMD just kind of just sitting right there, right on that, right on this balance here, right on that 60 level is going to be the resistance. So a pop of 60, we should see, you know, probably 65, honestly, on AMD. Amazon, Amazon, you know, kind of in a similar situation, just sticking below this 120. Had that good excess, you know, check back down to trend, and that 125 is going to be the key. Amazon earnings coming in here on, was this Friday? You click that button, it takes you to the Amazon website. That's hilarious. When are these Amazon earnings? Amazon earnings are on the 27th, yeah, so they're on Thursday. So that'll be kind of a key to watch for Amazon. They're probably not going to catch much movement until then. Google, you know, really trying to, to break out. You can kind of see we marked this yesterday during the during just the TPO chat. This is kind of that gap low, and I marked it in orange, you know, because it's a gap. It's not really, you know, it's not single prints or anything like that. I just like to see how it's gonna fill in that level. I don't think it's gonna necessarily act as resistance, right? If I thought it was gonna act as resistance, I'd most likely mark it in red. Meta, right, just looking just terrible. A lot of investors getting kind of frustrated with Meta and how they're dealing with a lot of things, right? They think they're wasting a lot of money on the metaverse, and so we'll just kind of keep watching that. Microsoft, this is typically the second stock to start getting the love, and you can kind of see they're making a pretty steep move off the low with Apple as well. Nice move above that 253.49 level. I think would be a key for Apple to start getting up. They have that, or to Microsoft, excuse me. We have that gap way up higher off that trend line, and that would be the kind of the target if there was, you know, a decent sized rally in the market. Netflix, right? Got that big earnings move, and still, you know, people are kind of trying to cover selling puts below. So there's a big gap below. There's still a big gap above. If we zoom out, you can see this is pretty much all a gap down here and doesn't get back into price action. There's another gap up here. Netflix got hammered pretty bad recently. Nvidia, same idea. Nvidia is looking a little bit stronger than AMD, right? Actually making a little bit higher highs here, but still balancing here. Looking to really get above that 140 level, I think, is the key for Nvidia to kind of break this downtrend that it's sitting in. And you can see the 50 moving average sitting about 136. So that would really be a good sign for them. Tesla, right, just making lower lows. Big gap above here, this 260 level on Tesla. Tesla's earnings are coming out, or they came out last week, right? They actually beat earnings. They did, you know, fairly well. We'll be kind of seeing like that. A lot of pressure coming in from Tesla with the whole Twitter deal coming on. The 10-year still making higher, you know, still pretty high, still elevated above that 41. Right, we'd like to see it come down here below this 40 level. That would take a little bit of pressure off the market. Maybe get some good upside in equities from there. We'll kind of see. The VIX, even though it did go higher yesterday with the market, has since retracted back down and back below that 30 level. Still an elevated VIX, so nothing to laugh at, but still elevated in its sense, and definitely want to be paying attention. You know, coming off the low of the year here, low of the year was about 16. High of the year back in January was 38. So far, just you know, basically in that upper third of the range here for the VIX. But other than that, that is pretty much it. You can see the ES, you know, has grabbed a little trend here to the upside off of that that poor low. Kind of double tapped that poor low there, and it's catching a pretty steep upside here. Not sure if there was some news or anything like that. I still think the key here today, and we talked about this yesterday, 38.20 being the level that the market needs to get acceptance above and start to test some of these upper levels. And you can see there's that VPOC up there at 38.92, and then that 39.22 on the ES here, the level that we have marked up here above, 39.22, 38.89. So this is kind of right in the center of these levels, and that would make sense for the market to try to get attracted to that level if we do see some continuation. I mean, the key here really just, we want to see where value goes today, see where value builds. If we balance up here, like I said, if we balance up here at the highs, like let's say even if value is overlapping to lower but doesn't get down into this area, but value just overlaps here, and then the next day, so we just balance up here at the highs, that's still going to kind of give us a bullish tone. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe we get one of these down up days, right, where the market moves lower but we're still at higher prices. So it's going to be kind of an interesting day, and I think the market is going to be choppy early on. We're going to be opening up, looks like, really close to the previous day's high as well, so we want to be paying attention to that. And let's go ahead and get some what time is it? Oh, we got some time. But yeah, I mean, the key here is just to monitor for this kind of choppiness early on. I think that's what we'll get, is just some some choppiness early on. If you're joining us for the first time on YouTube, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click the bell. That way you get notified when we go live pretty much every single day, right? I had to take a couple days off, got a little bronchitis, but took some meds, feeling a little bit better today, and but back at it. Yesterday I was like sitting at the computer, kind of struggling to even just keep my eyes open, but today, if I'm feeling good. Um, and if you have questions, right, post them in the chat, right? Get that chat rocking. Don't be afraid. If you're not sure what you're looking at, ask a question. We'll explain it. If you want to get into the Discord, say, hey, I want to get into the Discord. What's the deal? Morning, Roach. And we'll get to it. The key here, and the key for this community, right? We're all about managing risk. So if you're looking for a place to come and make $1 million, right, it's definitely possible. But more often than not, what we are trying to do is manage risk first, right? You have to learn how to make $1 before you learn how to make 100. And that's kind of the key. So if you're looking for a place to just get in there and YOLO, Tobias, good morning. This might not be the place for you. And, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a place out there for everybody. So all right. Now we're up. We saluted the flag and we're ready to rock. Before we jump into the open, let's go ahead and take a little peek. If you make 5 trades a day and you were consistent over $1, then you were winning. Yeah, I agree. So we can see, didn't get down to our buy zone yesterday. We were talking about this yesterday on ETH. We're looking to see if it was able to break this zone here. We wanted to see, opportunity to get into the long down there. Didn't get that opportunity, but just, ETH kind of breaking out. We did talk about how I think that crypto is going to be kind of early tell to the market, right? It might give us a little bit of insight on what the market's trying to do here. So the market may be trying to break out to the upside, and if crypto starts to give a nice breakout, then I think that the market is going to follow suit. With crypto being that risk on asset, kind of like the NASDAQ, the risk on Apple, those heavy tech stocks that get that good volatility, that where the money to be made, we start to see this stuff kind of break out. We should get an early indication, and that's why we're definitely watching crypto closely to see if they get a little breakout and see if we can catch it before it pops in the market. Bitcoin here still lagging a little bit, breaking the trend here, but not as much as ETH, right? ETH looks a lot stronger. We have that zone up here on Bitcoin that needs to get back up to. You got this longer term trend down here, so we'll watch for that. So most likely the breath will open up fairly neutral, right? Here's the settle from yesterday. So most likely the breath will open up pretty neutral. The tick probably open up pretty neutral. So we'll just pay attention to that and see how things develop early on. I don't think there's really much opportunity for a trade early on unless we just open and start to go up. I think there's the opportunity there. But there's not really a ton of opportunity. Even if there is an open and it kind of pulls back a little bit, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious, as I think there is still some buyers in the market, even if they are just weaker buyers that missed their chance from yesterday. They might still be lurking down here trying to jump into the market a little bit too early, anxious that they missed yesterday's move. See the market really just kind of balancing before the open here. All right, there's our open. So we're opening up, right on the settle for the most part. So pretty much unchanged open here. If we get a little bit of buying right off the open, there it is. So shorts got trapped early right here at this 38.11. Starting to see some upside coming quick. Buyers still sitting in here. They're going to be targeting that poor high from the Globex. Sellers got trapped again here at this 14. There they go. Check a little check back there. Breath looks strong on the NASDAQ here. Look at that, 4-1 on the NASDAQ. Got the tick opening up pretty high. You can see that we're just, we're just going up. So this is what I was talking about. If we get, early indications of buying, you want to get on board and just go with it early on here. And that's kind of what we're doing here. So nice little repair of that overnight poor high. This is the key here now. We want to see buyers step up and kind of fill this in and get above yesterday's high. That'll show some real strength. If not, we'll want to be looking to kind of cut this early. But you're pretty much okay still. Sellers still trapped down at the 12, so they're trying to come in up here. That's a weak sign though, that it doesn't just push up and take out that 38.22. Buyers step up again there. Getting fucking blown up on my Twitter. Bot got into a call. My algo doesn't make a decision until after the first 10 minutes. So still 8 minutes left before my algo decides what it wants to do. but volume stepping up. Feel like fucking Porky the Pig right there. So buyers really trying to buy the 1750, sellers trying to offer the 17.25. Big battle up here at this level. This could go either way, honestly. I've got my stop at 16. Hoping it doesn't just come down and tag me before it bounces up here. There we go. Get up there to that 22, show us what we're working with. Looking to see some of these shorts start to cover up here, especially above this previous day high. We should get a nice stop run above this 20. This is that 38.20 level that we've been talking about, but 22 being yesterday's high, there's going to be a lot of shorts that are still holding on until above that level. So they're able to hold it for there. Try to flatten. Stops at 18 now. I already know it's going to come down and tag me and then go up. I could feel it. Let's get that 22. Only put counts are in Bank of America. Hello? Hello? Hey, did you get my text? Did you get my text? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 44. 44. 44 carbs, Curtis. Okay, and then plus your milk. Whatever the chocolate milk is. Okay, sounds good. Okay. It's good. Yeah, that's good. Fine. Sorry about that, guys. So you get a little bit of a takeout above the previous day's high, but only 81 contracts trade on there, and then we're back below that 20 level. We see a lot of offers coming down and resting on that 20 level now. And you're starting to see the offers move down and try to pressure this market down here. So back into that lower balance. Watch this, well, just traded right through it. I was going to say watch that 16 level, but Buyers didn't hold at all. You're seeing the weighted AD kind of looking negative here, which is an interesting look early on. A lot of stuff rolling over really quickly. Back up into this little balance here. Watch this 20 level. That's where the initial offer, once price got rejected from those highs, that's where the offer moved down to, was this 20. So let's see how strong this offer is at this 20. That can give us a little bit of insight on kind of how the seller's strength is today. You still got sellers trapped down here below the open from early on, or at the open. Hell yeah, good stuff, TJ. And you are on the right track, bro. I've been telling you that for days. NASDAQ definitely looking a little bit stronger here than the ES again. It did yesterday as well. AMD's making a new high. $119 to $2, those call put counts here. A lot of volume building in right here below this 20. Starting to see some offers accumulate here. Around this 17 quarter, 1750 again. So this is that same level from the initial impulse in that zone. So from before, when we were kind of balancing here, the 1750 was getting bought up, 17 quarter getting offered, and it looks like sellers are able to get a little bit of control here. They need to get some downticks. If not, probably get a nice little pop here. Buyers trying to step up. So the offer, they're controlling it. 17 quarter is the key level here. 17 quarter, 1750. Offers help. Offers hold the level there, and then they break it. They break it down there. So no trade for the algo. The only way my algo will trade would be if our weighted AD and we start to see some strength in the rest of the sectors. Not seeing the strength that it wants to see yet. Notice the ticks really. I mean, we talked about this a lot, right? If there's no negative ticks, I can't. There's no negative ticks, right? There's no reason to be getting short there. Right, so look, we break that 1750 and look, pop right back up to the 20. That was an easy trade. No negative ticks, no fade. Especially not off this positive breath. Really, the only thing that's showing us this overall weakness is just we got a gap down from healthcare, a gap down from financials. Energy looked a little bit weak early on, but has since recovered. Real estate's on the tear to the upside. I haven't seen a bar like this in real estate in a good while. We had a gap down in materials, but staples is really just the only thing kind of lagging behind. Staples and energy here. So you see them hold that 20 level again. That's going to be the kind of the key here. Above the 20. Let's see if these bids step up. Come on, buyers, where you at? Super Trooper, am I looking to trade imbalance up? What do you mean? So can't get above that 20 again. We got big offers coming in here at the 20, right? Big battle level. So it looks like we switched from that 17 level to 20 now. The battle comes back to the 20. A little bit of a liquidation, still in a fairly bracketed open here, really tight range. We're about 3807 to 3824, so about a 14-point range ish. Nasdaq's trying to get up there and make a new high. Yeah, sellers at yesterday's high. Yep, liquor, they're just sitting there. They're really just trying to offer this 20 level, and this 20 level is a key level. If we look over here, this is kind of that area that we've seen, right? This is that same area. This 3820 has been kind of just this big level recently inside this bracket. So it's like I said, I think we're just kind of in this bracket here, looking to get acceptance above. Acceptance above should take us up to this resistance level. There we go. Stops letting go. Six. Nice little Nasdaq trade right there for me. Ripper. There we go. Let's see if we can get up to that spike base. It's kind of the next level up. A little bit of offer sitting on 30 there. Excuse me. We got these sellers trapped at the previous day's high. Watch to see this auction to see if we do some little bit of backing and filling. Like to see these buyers step up. So as the market comes back down to this level, right? If it does auction back to this 23, 24, 25 level, we want to see these buyers that were bidding, battling this 20 step up and initiate new longs above. If not, we're just on the heels of short covering still. And, you know, I mean, short covering can last a while, especially because we're in this big bracket. Like we said, right? You've got to think about longer term traders or intermediate time frame traders. If, oops, if they're short, you know, in this bracket, you know, wherever they're short intermediate time frame traders, this is where they're going to start covering some shorts, right? Longer term frame traders short from up here. So there's going to be these intermediate time frame traders that are starting to get stopped out and have to cover. And that's going to be that target, that 38.77, I think is probably the next level up that we want to be watching for. And that kind of, you know, goes in line with where that previous VPOC is at as well. Oh, my algo traded from 38.21 to 38.23.75. That's the trade that it took. It doesn't always take like some amazing trade, you know, only 2 points today. You know, definitely not perfect. Obviously, we get this continuation up, but it just takes one trade a day. So go ahead and remove this. Where do we say that? 50 is that 38.77. Let's put DMA for daily moving average. All right. We'll make it. Let's see. We saw those buyers step up on that 32 here. Trying to get that squeeze effect. A lot of stops up here above. A lot. Like a fucking ton, I think. All of our sectors are green. Tick is hitting up above 1,000, but the market's making a new high. So nothing really, you know, too alarming there. Sometimes it's frustrating, like think or swim. Like the way that you move stuff around is different than the way you move around. And the way you move around Sierra chart. So when you switch back and forth, it's like do something that you would think about on the other chart. So let's see, what's this next previous low here? Is 38.42.15. What's this say? 38.43 Oh, so that's this level here. So this is the previous low from the 20th of September, which would be the next level up. And then that previous open 38.77, which is the basically right where the 50 moving average is sitting. And you kind of have that low of that 3-day balance. This is where a previous 3-day balance sits right here, the low of that previous 3-day balance. The fuck is the deal with this thing? A lot of good volume stepping up right there. Offers are still fairly weak. A lot of people moving their stops back up here to right around that 44. So they're trying to hide behind that previous low. And you got the offer sitting on the 40, but those offers on the 40 I think are just a stop loss, to be honest. We should cruise right past them. Super Trooper, you never responded back. I was asking, what do you meant by trade imbalance up? So somebody eats those stops, right? Big offer 40.75. It looks like they tried to move away, but somebody swallowed them up like Pac-Man there. What's a major key of something that we're not trying to do today? Anyone want to take the um the reins? Tell us. On a day like today, where we've got a breakout straight off the open, we've got the breath picking up, double on the NASDAQ, double on the NYSE. Right. Don't fade. Don't fade. Don't fade. Yes. Don't fight the market. Right. Don't try to be a hero and nail the top. Right. There will be opportunities to fade the market. I'm sure. Right. There always is. But more often than not, you'll catch yourself getting in trouble than trying to fight the market than just go with it and be patient. This fucking thing. Trying to mess with this fucking bookmap thing on Thinkorswim, but it's just like not being. It's just not like being helpful at all. So we're just cruising past those 40s right here. We're just waiting for these buyers to kind of step up and keep rolling. Next level up is that 50. And really, I think the next level up is going to be this 77. That's kind of the next level up. ETH at the top of the bracket. It has been for a while. Let's take a peek real quick at ETH. Yeah, so ETH breaking out. And that was kind of our leader there this morning. ETH didn't come back down to our buy zone, so it showed a little bit of strength. And I had some resting buy orders overnight down at the 38 or 37.74. We never quite got down there. That's where I would like. I mean, that's where I'd like to get into a nice long at, but longer term long, couple days or so. Yeah, I mean, really, if ETH can find acceptance here, I mean, we're pretty much right at this point of controls where it traded up to. If ETH can find acceptance in these upper ranges, it should have no problem trading to that 1400 level. You know, only $20 off of it there, but should have no problem trading up to it. You can see how thin it is up here, so if it can just hold up, start to build some balance. And then, you know, remember that it is in a downtrend overall, so there's going to be some overhead resistance, so it's going to be kind of a struggle until that breaks out. Sellers getting heavy there at the 43. 700 lot sitting on the 50. They're back above it. I mean, there's nothing really telling us that there's any sellers in the market. We still haven't had one tick get below that zero. And that's kind of a key thing. I think people don't watch the tick, and so a lot of people I don't think watch the tick. And you know, if we don't get any ticks below zero, that's telling us that there's really even that downside move right there. Would we trade down to 41 off the high, which is eight points off the high. You're not really a big seller or a selling enough in the overall market to push the tick below zero. So every tick in the market versus the other ticks in the market are still on the up and up, right? There goes a nice stop run to start the B session. That 50's coming. Little volatility kicking in. We did just get some data here.
I just caught that last one. 5 points, 2 lots. Fucking A. That was a nice run up real quick there.
Good stuff, Dan.
Yeah.
So consumer confidence is down to 102.5. Expected was 106.5. So that was kind of the bigger news for the day today. Offer moving down here to the 43 again. So they're selling this 43 again. And you're kind of seeing the market, you know, bracket in here. That tick's coming down a little bit. A lot of single prints in that A period, right? So it's a lot of single prints to hold. Buyers stepping up right on that 41. Look to see if these sellers get stuck again on this 41. This is where they got stuck last time, and then A little stop run to open up the B session. Starting to get a tick coming down here. 39 would be a good level.
Hey, Brad, I was finally able to get on what's going on. Why is this shooting up like this? Is there some news this morning?
I'm just holding down my buy button still, bro, and then the fucking market just keeps going.
There was nothing news
That's the
related.
news. Bitcoin Brad buys all the ETH available. Yeah, it was on the Wall Street Journal.
Text me. Say again.
It was on the Wall Street Journal. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just, I mean, it's just the earnings season, and like ETH, kind of like we were talking about yesterday. You know, it makes sense people pile into it to get that risk on. That's where they're going to be the highest returns are going to be at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a bad day. So I actually wanted to go over the trade I did yesterday and see what. Well, I kind of know what I did wrong, but I want to see what you'd have done. Got some time later.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, post it in the that I'd love to do stuff like that too, like trade review, regardless if it's a winning trade, losing trade, anything like that. Like if you just screenshot it and then put the levels on it, and then just type like the time you got in, the price you got in at, where you closed that, what your target was, what your initial stop loss was, and go over those on stream, especially when the stream starts to get slow, or like when the market starts to slow down a little bit. I'd love to do trade reviews like that. We did that in one of the intensives with Jim Dalton, and it was, you know, pretty helpful. It was interesting on one of my trades that he reviewed. Um, he's just like, he basically just said like he never would have taken that trade. And I was like, oh, whoops. But
I'm sure you'll put it
we had
in.
different styles. I mean, it was a winning trade, but he just said it was like more of just like he thought I was too early. He thought I was trying to time the market and got lucky, which I mean, probably true. How come can't zoom this fucker out? Still not a tick below zero here. Getting back down into this kind of lower bounce, seeing a little bit of a liquidation. Not on a ton of size though. Morning, Reyes. Buyers step up on that 37 there. All counts are climbing. What you trade is pure experience, is not luck. Well, what do they say? What's that thing? Is like when luck and hard work meet up, that's or preparation and hard work meet up, that's called luck or something like that. I put a lot of time in, guys. Like that's the thing is like I mean I'm sure I do get lucky from time to time. I know that I do. But the thing is like I put in so much time on the charts. Um, you could ask my wife. She's like, "Oh, damn computer again." Even yesterday, like yesterday I wasn't feeling good. And I was laying down um for better part of the day, just trying to rest. And my in-laws were asking my wife like, "Oh, what's Bradley doing?" And my wife's like, "Oh, he's actually laying down." And like, "Oh shit, he's not on the computer, like he must not really be feeling good." I'll be right back, guys. Gotta take my sweatshirt off real quick. But hot up in her. A little bit of cooling off here. We're seeing some volume still build up here at these higher prices. We're getting our first little kind of lift starting to develop here, right? Big volume drop off, about about half a volume drop off from this spot here, and then a little half pipe forming. Not really as big of a drop off until up here though, so that 45. And we almost tagged that 50, putting in that poor high. There's that big offer sitting on the 50 still, and that's going to be kind of the key, I think. Looking up here, 655 lots sitting on the 55. Oh, I fucking figured it out. Praise the fucking Lord. Oh, thank God. Finally figured. All right, what do we get? What do we got going here? A little bit of tick below zero, a little bit of liquidation there. Not much going though. Not much downside going here. Not yet. A little bit more liquidation. Little battle here at the 34. And this was kind of where remember this 34 is kind of where these original stops got stopped out. Remember that 34 was that spike base. They tried to hold on to this 32, and you got kind of the stop run, and it shows here. We've got this kind of weak volume here. from about 33 to 30. You see that those buyers kind of stepping up there. Trying to get some good volume here though, stepping up, right? Good volume higher, showing, you know, maybe prices getting accepted up here at these higher prices. This is right where they ran into some issues last time. The offer moved for like 30 or 40, 38, 40, 38, 34. So we're sitting right at this half pipe, 34 to 40. 40 being the middle of the half pipe and kind of the market, you know, making its first little trend here. First little downside trend.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
So you're saying, you know, that level of 1400, but you know, that only happened one day back in September. Before that, it's more like 1460. So I wanted you to look at that.
Well, 1400 is just such a psychological level, and crypto is so emotional, and so that's, I think people are going to feed off of that.
Makes sense.
So starting to break this little uptrend here, and look what we're filling in. There goes the point of control moving up. Value is moving higher. That tick barely peaked below zero at all. A little bit of stops right there. Everyone's moving off up to the 50 now. There they go. Buyers got it. Give us the 50. You know we want it. Battle is here at the 44 again. Nasdaq broke its trend to the upside here as well.
So did you actually make a buy on ETH?
No, it didn't get to where I was trying to buy lower. It didn't come down. No. I wanted to though, but didn't get down to where.
Yeah, I woke up late for the first time. My luck.
More opportunities.
That truly is one of the greatest things about the market. I mean, it'll be here tomorrow, you know, later today.
All right, Jake. We'll catch you later, man. Jake, you still out there in Texas? So offer moving down there, 43, that battle area, 43, 44 battle area again. Looks like we may have got some buyers trapped there on that 44. Might be a different Jake. I thought Jake was out there in Texas. No real other economic news coming out until about 1:55 Eastern time. Fed Waller is going to be on. And then that's pretty much it. A lot of volume moving up here. Need to fix this poor high if we want to get some continuation to the upside. The breath is cooling here a little bit. Not making these higher highs like we would like to see here. Above that 44, we'll probably get a decent little stop run though. That 50 just is calling the name of the market. The sellers just got stuck right there on that 41. See if we can hold this above 41 here. Buyer still lifting the offer. Still looking good. Still looking good. Take us up to the promised land. Give us the 50. Little resistance here at this 44.50. Those sellers got stuck at 41. So let's see if they rebid this 43 here. Need to get some upticks. There we go. Battle here at the 43 again. They lost it. Buyers lost it. Watch the 41. 41 are where these shorts are stuck at. They got it. Offer moves down. A little stop run below there, but nothing going here, and then we pop right back up to the 43. This is the battleground here, big time. Right back below. Interesting.
You kind of that negative tick is coming down.
What were you saying, Kevin? Sorry.
Well, that tick was going down pretty fast.
Yeah, and then it just popped right back up. Yeah, I mean, there's been like they've just been struggling here to really kind of push this thing down. They're definitely trying right now, though, for sure. You can see just like some overhead resistance, and this is kind of like one of those times in the market where you just feel like, you know, they're holding price right here, and you get all these retail traders that are in that feeling like, oh, the market's going down. Like, I don't know if Jared's in here, but that's probably what he's feeling right now. He's like, yeah, the market's about to shit off a cliff, is what he would say. And you know, they keep dropping it down, so people keep piling in, and then they pop it right back up, and then do the same thing, and then you know, then they just take all their stops to the upside, use that liquidity to keep moving the market higher.
Can you hear me, Brad?
There you are. I was wondering.
No, I kept hitting clicking the mic button on the bottom, but my actual mic headset was muted. I've been talking this whole time.
Thank God for us.
Yeah, I'll mute it again, motherfucker.
So there they go. They pop that 43, and buyers step up here should take us to 50. This has been kind of that area where they're failing, but it does look like, you know, maybe some offers are kind of moving out, and buyers are lifting the offer for the most part. All right, love you too. I don't need that. You could leave it off. Yeah, thanks. I can show you the world. So let's see if we can hold this stop run higher here to take us up to 50, where all that liquidity is sitting at. Because the first. Thank you, Rays. I appreciate it, man. Hello? Hey. Hi. What is it? Buyer's lifting here still. Okay. It's all right. What is it?
So, oh,
What is the snack? No, what is the snack? Yes, what is it? Okay, you need to have a juice if you're 74 first, and then have your snack. All right. Bye. So tags the 50. Oh no, it didn't quite get up to the 50, did it? No, only to that 49 here. But 411 contracts traded on that. Oh no, 46 traded on the high there. I mean, I really just think that's kind of what they were doing. They were doing that, you know, old call it old Jared, right? Because Jared's turned a corner for now, okay, until he turns the corner back again. But hopefully he doesn't. But old Jared would be like, yeah, it looks like this thing's about to shit off a cliff when it's been just one time framing up, right? But you know, that's the average retail trader before they study. They're like, oh, this is the top, it's going down, and then they drop it a little bit. People pile in, they trap them, and they bring it back up. They do it again, and they do it again, rinse and repeat, because they need that liquidity to move the market up. Because you know the market moves up to shut off buying. Once the market moves up high enough, there's no buyers. It has to come back down in order to find buyers, right? And that's how the you know the liquidity goes, or the inventory goes, as we kind of track that inventory in the market. That's why we've added this 1 minute chart, and you know TJ's helped us out with this, of tracking this inventory in the market, right? So they move it up here, right? So they move it up, shorts pile in here, they get stuck, comes out, they disperse inventory here, they slowly move it down, shorts pile in, buyers are just gathering inventory. They come up, they disperse a little bit, they move it back down, shorts pile in. Now they're moving up here and distributing inventory. What they're trying to do is to get these shorts to cover so they can move up here and distribute inventory higher, right? Because you want to sell for the best possible price. If they can't get that, then what they'll do is they'll start to liquidate and bring price back down, probably to that 43, right? That was that key level 43 and 37. Those two numbers that I have written down that are the key levels that they kind of held to try their play again. And once they gather enough inventory, then they can move it up to just, you know, to distribute it into the places that they want to. And if they fail to do that, right? So if they fail to distribute inventory, or fail to gather enough inventory and get those stops to move up higher, they'll have to liquidate, and they'll be forced to liquidate, and that will move the market down. And you know, we'll look to see where inventory was gathered from, which is here, 20, and right around that prior day high. But until we get a tick that closes below zero, there's really no point to try to fight the market. You're just going to do yourself more harm than good.
I'll have you know, Brad, I averaged in on my winner and I'm in a while.
That's why I said old Jared, because old Jared would have been short as fuck probably from the open.
10 lots. I can't go any higher.
Yeah.
We're already up so much. Might as well short.
Remember, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah, I think TJ, I think you're probably right. This could end up forming up like a P until we get, you know, until inventory gets corrected. right until we get all the people out of the way. That 50 is just building here. There's just so much inventory up above. $38.77 just seems like the ticket. NASDAQ pulling back into support here too. NASDAQ actually looking a little bit weaker here than the ES, right? You can see kind of pulled off of its highs. It was at about 8, 7.5 now. And there's the 43. So kind of like we talked about, right? They didn't get what they needed to. They didn't get enough stops, so they come back to the 43, and then the 37 would be that next level down. 43, then 37. They try to gather that inventory again. So far, they're finding a bid on the 43, though. Your bots are back. Say here's a lot of stacked orders on the 50. Yeah. On the 50, we've got about 726 orders, 726 lots. Yeah. Some bigger size too. You've got, I mean, if you take a peek here at this, um, get some orders stepping off of it now. So on the DOM, we can kind of see the orders sitting here. You've got a 10 lot, a 10 lot, a 10 lot, a 40 lot, 20 lot, 32 lot, and a 316 lot. So fairly big order. So half of this 628 is one trader for the most part. Kind of what that's telling us. The book is thin. I mean, it's thin near price for sure, but starts to thicken up above. It's like you've got a lot of people trying to be really patient today, trying not to get trapped. They're definitely trying to hold the market down here, though. Definitely trying to uh, hold the market from getting any higher because they don't want it to get out of control, I'm sure. What's volatility at? Down about 1 point. The TNX is at 40.83, so it's down about 3%. Dollars down under 112. We know that's a key level as well, right? TNX get below 40. We can really see the market trade higher. CLT's up about 2%. That's the 20-year. Amazon really kind of lagging here. Amazon catching some downside actually comparatively to the rest of the market here. Could be dragging the market down. See the Apple's up 1.2. Amazon Amazon's getting smacked. I don't know if there's news on Amazon or what. Let's look. Holy shoot. Amazon just taking a beating here.
What site do you look at for financial news?
Twitter. Twitter's where I get all my news from.
It's called the Elon News Network.
But he's not. It's called. I mean, yeah. If he buys it.
Are you
I'm
seeing
just
all
saying.
those shorts get trapped right there?
Where at?
Right at the 41. They just bounced down below it, then it bounced right up to 44.50. Oh, they got it back. Never mind.
Yeah, I think that was a short covering right there. Play a trade down to the 37 here. So that once they captured that 43, they'll look to see, you know, if they can hold it below the 43, they'll look for that 37 to trade. And sorry, I'm trying to look on the Twitterverse to see if there's some fucking news. Yeah, if you go on Twitter and just type in fast stock market news, fast stock news, FSMN, they pretty much have like all the stuff. Elon implying that he's going to implement a YouTube competitor when he buys Twitter. Musk, Twitter should be as broadly inclusive as possible. I'm not seeing any Amazon news though. Amazon union calls off California warehouse election. That could have been it. That was 16 hours ago. No, that's not it.
You said FSMN? Nothing
F
came up.
FSMN. Yeah. Yeah, I can share the link. How do I share? Profile V.
Oh, I got it.
Got it? Yeah, fast stock market news. So we've got the ES bouncing on the 1 minute right off the 50 moving average there. A lot of offers came in on that 40-50 and they're unable to really push it down below. Get a bid stepping up on the 41 here. Buyers lifting the offer. See, the breath is cooling down here a bit. Right? You see the breath 3 here, right? Was almost at 5. NASDAQ was at 8. NASDAQ's at 6 now. Back to this 43 level. They're trying to offer this 43. Let's see if we can try. So they're really pushing this thing down or chasing it down at least. Ooh, big buyer on the 40 just pops up out of nowhere. 200 lot order.
It's crazy how they're still pushing these NFTs, even though they're all 99% down.
I wish you could have bought inverse NFTs off the rip. I would have tried to do that. Or bought some swaps on NFTs. That
Which
40
one?
holds just swaps, like basically saying that all NFTs were going to go down eventually. Like an inverse correlation to NFTs. It just made no sense. And like most of them are down like 100%.
Well, I figured they'd stick around just because it was all money laundering anyway.
Yeah, but there's no tangible asset. Like they thought it was going to be like the art thing. I mean, they did launder a bunch of money through people that bought NFTs and held on for, for dear life, hoping that it was going to make them a billionaire.
Well, to launder the money, it didn't have to go up or down. You just buy it back, and money's clean. I mean, people were buying $10 million pictures of rocks. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy. People like buying pictures of pictures. The market may want to come back down to this 37 level again. Kind of see. Wonder if I can. I go chart setting. Okay, it does. So these gray areas are just areas that I've identified of like, areas that I'd like to look for qualify a trade in that I've kind of mapped out on my chart. I could leave them on there or take them off. Let me know what you guys think. So 44, offer comes out. Buyers step up. Is he? I mean, we're seeing the tick make lower highs here consecutively. They're just not seeing that follow through yet. Yeah, you'll get an opportunity. Yeah. That wasn't financial advice. Yeah, that's a big thing is like, people are like, "Oh, well, I want to buy at 37 or something like that," right? And they're like, "Well, I might as well just short because that's where it's going to go down, so I'll just short till it gets down there and then buy it from there." Yeah. Well, you're turning a corner, so that indicator won't be very useful anymore. I was about to go in on you yesterday. So you put the right response back. I was like, oh, lucky. As soon as I saw you text, I'm like, this motherfucker, here we go again. Yeah. And then you did, so good stuff. So buyers are trying heavy here. They're lifting this offer pretty good right here. They're putting some effort in here. They're just meeting. They're kind of running into a wall. It seems like right here at this 47 half, 47 quarter. Yeah. We can just finally hit the fucking 50. We can go up to my target. I'll be happy. Okay. I've been sitting in a long for like fucking, I mean, since like 10 o'clock. I think we're gonna go up to 77. That ain't no guess. Well, so we've got buyers definitely trapped on the high tick right there, right? There's 81 contracts traded on the high tick. They couldn't get over the 50. There's not enough initiated buying going on up there. And so this is where they do the exact same thing. They're just try to bring it back down, get shorts to pile in to get that liquidity because they need those contracts in order to buy that 50. Now you're seeing 359 contracts jump on the 48.50 chasing this market up here, saying like, all right, now's make or break time. Then they jump off. They tried to scare it up. Big buyers stepping in at that 48.75. So they got a lot of people trying to get short up here at the high. Little volatility kicking in now. Look at the breath. Picking back up. There it is. So watch to see buyers keep stepping up. They are. There's so much liquidity up here for the market to go get. Nasdaq's lagging here though. You can see by the breath, right? Offer moves down on the 50 again. Excuse me. Inching, inching, inching. Well, Peter Reznicek has a resting order in the same spot as me. That's funny. Well, the key here really is to watch this chart right now is the NASDAQ. As soon as the NASDAQ breaks this downtrend, this thing's going to go. Hello? Hey. Okay, that's fine. Bye. Oh, watch the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ in the lower right-hand corner. If the NASDAQ goes, the market will go. The VWAP is way down here. VWAP's not coming up as much as it should, I feel like. But we are getting volume up here on the ES. This is just the NASDAQ. Maybe the NASDAQ's not getting as much volume. A lot of small orders kind of piling up on the 50 here, which makes me think it's a stop loss. The bot is out. So NASDAQ hits that trend line again and starts to liquidate. Offer moving down to the 46 here. See the breath cooling a little bit here, and look at that tick finally below the 0. Yeah, I did. Thank you. Back to 43. It's been a key level today. 43 and below 37 is a level. One minute, we might get our first negative tick here. Zero. But it's not closed. That's the first close below 0. Yeah, that's negative 600, negative 1000, but that was the first 5-minute close below 0 on the tick. D period opens up. I'm not sure. Probably not. Because this is trading 500 stocks. That's what the tick is based off of. So I don't know if it would be, you'd have to be trading like a cumulative crypto. Buyers really really lifting the offer on the 43.50 there. Heavy. If this thing gets below the 43, we might trade to 37 rapidly. They should they should be getting some upticks here with all the amount of buying that they're doing, but they're not getting much progress here with all that buying. Still waiting for that NASDAQ to try to rip us up here. NASDAQ breaks, we go. Back to this 43 again. Shorts look like they got trapped on that 41. A little bit of liquidation there from this 43. They got it. Oh, they want it, TJ. They want it. I'll be waiting. I'm I mean, like I want like so these boxes are the boxes that I have on my trade chart. These gray boxes, and you can see they pretty much go all the way down. And I'll just leave them on here because these are the areas that I look for my like quality trades, and that's kind of where I'd like to see the market come back down to that 37 level to get into a decent long. Do I recommend James Dalton? Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, I think he's great. I mean, the best. Look at the Nasdaq looking to break this trend up here to the upside. See if we can get some green. Come on, Nazi. I'm getting those zones based from my range chart on me. And well, from my range, and I'm using volume, kind of like the fall offs of volume, so you can kind of see like because you guys know, like, I trade the volume profile a little bit different than a lot of people, right? A lot of people are like, oh, this is support, like, well, no shit, that's where all the volume's at. But I like to see where the volume kind of falls off, and this is kind of where our taper started out, right? We had kind of this short covering up here, but then the taper started. So this kind of shows me this is where buyers stepped up originally. So if we got a test in this area, it makes sense to get a nice little buy area to kind of head higher. And we just haven't got that opportunity yet. And I've been sitting in this long for, I mean, since 10 o'clock, really. What seems like, an eternity at this point, waiting and waiting and waiting. But, taking profit up at the highs and then adding again and taking profit and then adding again. There goes the NASDAQ. All right. Come on, NASDAQ. Just break us out. Look, NASDAQ picking back up finally. 7. Knock it off, TJ. Just let it go, okay? Fucking like Elsa. Oh, they're taking it. Come on. They're trying their hardest right now. They're lifting heavy. My average is from Yeah, my average is from 42.75. Yeah. Or 42.75. I've been holding for, well, I mean, I've been adding like my initial entry on the move up was 36, took it off at 44, added again at 38, took it off at 44, added again at 37, took it off at 45.75, added it in again around like 10:38 at 40, and just kind of trying to trail up here. Just took 3 off right there at 51. And I just have 1 left right here now. I'm looking for 77. Oh, no, not 0. Not 0. But I really wouldn't mind seeing 77. That's for sure. Look at the NASDAQ. It's so strong, like a beast. Yeah, aren't you glad old Jared's he's gone? Dead and gone. Dead and gone. Yeah, he'd be out. He'd be fucking shutting down NinjaTrader and resetting. Ugh. Nice.
Greater than my winners, right?
Right.
So all I've been working on is running like a tighter stop loss. And if I get stopped out, I wait 10-15 minutes, rethink, get another game plan together before I even think about entering a trade again. So like lately I've been getting stopped out a lot. I've had tons of losers today, but I'm up like $1,400 today. But I have tons of losers, but they're all like 87, 115, they're all relatively small losers.
That was my big problem. That was the big problem that I had. Remember, I don't remember, it was a while back when I was like, dude, you need to change your thinking, blah, blah, blah. That's because that's exactly what I had happen to me. I had a lot of winners, but when I had a loser, I was averaged in to, I don't know how many contracts, trying to turn it back into a winner.
Mm-hmm. So
And
one thing I've
eventually-
been working on is I no longer average in on losers at all. I won't do
Smart.
it. So I
Good
don't
way to do
average
it.
in on losers anymore. And I only can add on to my position if it's a winner. And I set up my stop loss before I even enter the trade. And I don't move it. So if it hits me, it hits me. I just take the loss, take it on the chin. And because I'm not going to let my losers outweigh when I know statistically over the last year, I'm like trading at 75 to 80% profitability, but it's those 15 to 20% of my losers that are just huge, and it's like I'm just not doing it anymore. So it's like I'll regroup, take it up, take a small little loss, and I know my winners will carry me through the day,
Setting up the stop loss before the trade is huge. I screwed up on that. So I did yesterday.
Yeah, good job, Jared. Good job.
Yeah, growth.
Good job, Jared.
Yeah.
I'm making that
Well,
motion
my
with my
God.
hands right now.
It's
Growth.
it's a growth moment. Group
Yeah.
Growth
therapy.
mode. We'll grow vicariously through you.
No, and you know what? It's gone really good the last few weeks, so it's been real good.
My bot hasn't learned, it still averages in. It's stubborn. It hasn't decided to go that way.
It's taking after its teacher, huh? It's like,
Well, that's the reason why I don't trade anymore. I only do in sim. I only trade in sim.
yeah, nice.
My bot does its trading, but I will say this, it pulls shit out of its butt. I'll tell you right now, it somehow manages to pull money out of its ass. every single time. Well, not every single time, but often enough.
I
So-
just feel like in order to be a winner, you just have to make small, like have small losses, you know, and that's it. Because most, and that's one thing I was reading in this book. It was basically saying that most traders actually do make more winning trades than losing trades. Actually, they just, it's their losers that just way outweigh their winners.
That's one thing that I've always said, right? Like you know, anyone that says they have like an 80% above win rate, or like 90%, 100%, typically probably is not very profitable. Yeah, they might win a lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a profitable trader. And I've always said, you know, like my average over, you know, probably the last 5 years is about 65%. And I remember when I first, when not when I first started, when Jared first started, he would be like 65%, you know, it's fucking garbage. I'm getting like 90%, 100%. And I remember just trying to, like, you know, relate to him, like telling him like, yeah, I mean, I tried to help him with the inevitable path that almost all traders have to go down, right? You can try to explain to someone your past faults and the path of becoming a successful risk manager, as I refer to it. It really is almost inevitable, right? Just like it's like the Matrix, like it's inevitable, and everyone kind of goes down that path where they have to. Only way that they can really learn it is to experience it, and so, you know, that's really, really, you know, makes me feel good that we're seeing that growth, you know, especially with Jared, who's someone who's so hard-headed that is actually experiencing that growth. It's really cool to see.
I don't know whether
We're proud of you, Jared. We're
to
proud of you.
clap, say
All
fuck
the-
you, or I don't know.
I watch a trader who claims to only have a 20% win rate, but his wins are so huge that he's way profitable.
That's not a guy you want to follow though,
No,
because that's based on his entries and his exits being exactly down to a freaking T.
Yeah, he trades ABC, but he just has huge wins.
yeah, the name of that book is Best Loser Wins.
Best lose or wins?
Best
Best
loser.
loser.
Yeah, Best Loser Wins.
All right.
It was funny. Like I was texting Brad that I got it, and Brad's like, "Oh yeah, I already read that book." I'm like, "Of course you did."
Yeah, you're all what?
Yeah, it was
I-
funny.
I'm telling you guys, like, I literally just, that's like what I do with my free time, is just read on a tangent.
One thing that he
Learner.
talks about, like in I've seen him in interviews, Brad, and this is some deep shit, dude. Because like when he was talking about it, it was like the exact way I think in a trade, and he was saying most people are fearful whenever they're in a winning trade that, oh, I'm in a winner, but I'm afraid I'm going to lose, and they take profit early. He says, and they're hopeful when they're in a loser, when in reality it's the exact opposite. You want to be hopeful in a winner and add to your position, and be very fearful when you're in a loser.
Sounds so familiar.
I know, fuck you.
I feel like you've heard that before you read the book.
No, Jared, tell us how you really feel.
Tell us how you're-
You know, I have a lot of built up animosity towards Brad.
Evidently, he's all, but that's from your own faults. This is the thing. This is that you're taking the aggression that you have against your own issues against Brad, and we know that. And
Am
we're
I on
here for
blast
you
right now? Is this fucking punked?
We went from celebration to shame.
Yeah, is this a
Shame.
roast?
You're doing.
Shame.
I'm
Shame.
very proud of you, Jared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. That's awesome that you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I had to turn over a new leaf because like there was a point in time where trading went really, really well for me. But as Brad will tell you, it was basically like I had so much leverage. Like I actually did well for so long that I had so much leverage that there was days where I was taking like $15,000-$20,000 a heat. And it was not good. And I was still winning. Like I was still just waiting it out. I wasn't closing my losers, when in reality I should have closed a small loss and joined the other side, you know? Like all the signs were there. So it's like, even though I was waiting and being patient and getting out in profit, it could have not come back and I could have just blown accounts, You know, it's like I just learned that the way to trade is to take small losses, and it's okay.
Yeah, a lot of people get too fixated on where their exit is going to be. Like, oh, I think the market's going to go up to 58, right? And they're like, okay, well, I'll just get in because I think it's going to go there. Well, shit, it might go down to 22 and then up to 58, but it's like, is that really how you want to trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of focusing on where they know that they're wrong in the trade, because that all ties back down to that FOMO, that fear of missing out is such a big adversary for traders in the market. They're so afraid to miss the trade that they're willing to accept a shit entry in order to try to get a profit. And that's what happens as soon as they get in, they're in that shit entry and they're not comfortable, right? Like with my entries today, like I'm comfortable and I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Like I have no, you know, like I'm not like, I should close it, I should close it, I should close it. Like I'm comfortable with where my entry was at, right? And that's kind of the key is if you can be patient and wait for that entry that makes you comfortable, then you'll be more comfortable letting that trade work out for you into the spot that you're looking for it to go. Instead of like as soon as you get in, when you're not comfortable with your entry, you're looking to get out right away. As soon as it gets a little bit of profit, you're like, move my stop up, move my stop up. And then of course, as the market goes, as soon as you take profit, the market goes, the direction that you expected it to go, right? That's just like the natural curvature of things. And so we've got to fixate on our entries and make our entries better and be patient and be willing to miss the trade, right? Be willing to just not take the trade. If your trade plan says, you know what, I like a nice long from 37 and I'm not going to get in until it gets down to 37 if it still meets the parameters at when it comes down to 37 that I like. Because I mean, I know a lot of times, and I've seen a lot of people's trades, they're like, oh, I think it's going to go to 60, we'll say. So they're like, I'm long here. And then they're like, oh, it's ticking down, it gets down to that 43. And they're like, oh, I'll take another long here. So now their average is like 48. Ticks down, ticks down, ticks down. And they get long here at the 37. So now their average becomes that 43. Right? Then it goes all the way up. So they get back to break even. Right? They take profit. So now their average, they take profit on this one here. So now their average is back to this 47 level. It comes up, they take profit again. Right? So now their average is, basically right at the same spot. They've got two profitable trades, but they still have this shitty entrance from the high. It gets back up there, they're in the green. They're like, you know what, I'm just going to close it. Or it gets back up to this 50, they close it. And so now they're sitting probably plus 10 points here. Right? When if they would have just taken that trade from that 37 to the 50, I mean, they're take no heat. They're just patient on the trade, no stress, just sitting nice and relaxed the whole time. And I mean, you're even just one lot from the 37 down to the 50, but let's say you take your 3 lots down here, that's what's that, 36 points or 39 points? 39 points compared to this average in strategy. That's what it's all about. And if it doesn't come down to you, then it doesn't come down to you. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting in here, right? You're like, okay, it's gonna go up, I'll get in here. The difference is when it comes down and you start averaging in. So now you're taking all this unnecessary heat because this area here is nonsense, right? There's nothing in there for you, so that you don't even want to be in a trade in this area, but for some reason you are. Comes down to 43, then you add. Right? So if you're going to get into a trade looking for it to get continuation, if it doesn't start to get continuation right away, then just get the fuck out. Right? Just like Conor McGregor says, get the fuck out of here. Actually, he says fuck. But you know what I mean? Like, just get out of it.
Yeah, that happened to me today. When the C took the B high, I wanted to be in case some stops came out. And, it just didn't get any continuation. So I cut it for a half a point loss, and I'm glad I did because it rotated down like all the way back down to the 50, like 10 points.
And see, and that's one of those trades right there that when you're mapping out your trades, or at the end of the day when you're going over all of your trades, something that Jared still needs to work on. I keep just bringing it up to him so he can just keep, remembering it. But when you're going over all of your trades at the end of the day, that's not a trade that I would really like mark in red, TJ. Like, I wouldn't consider that a bad trade. I would consider that a good trade. Might not have been a profitable trade, but realizing that where the market could rotate back down to and just cutting it for a nice small loss, that's more or less a scratch. 2 ticks, that's a scratch trade. That's a I would that's a good identification that you weren't going to get the continuation that you were looking for, and boom, you got out. That's a good trade. I'm a big believer that not all good trades are profitable, and not all profitable trades are good. Ask my dad. I'm pretty harsh on my dad when he sends me his shit.
Yeah, we should put that on a t-shirt.
I posted my bad trade, Brett, if you let me get a chance.
Yeah, I'll take a peek at it here
Yeah,
a little bit later.
I tagged you.
So much liquidity above. So much. So much. Is 77 too much to ask for? Like,
They're scared as fuck, bro. Nobody wants to buy up there.
One of the things I looked at this morning was we have like this 3-day balance zone up here. So I was kind of thinking, like, if we accept over 54, then ideally we would trade like to the other side of the balance, right? So it'd be like 92, 93, unless we, turn around in the middle. But
you are spot on, my friend. Exactly the levels that I think as well. This is that 3-day balance TJ's talking about right here. And we're pretty much trying to get accepted in there. And the opposite side is at 392. You were saying 92, 38, 92? Yeah, that would make sense right up in there. I agree with that 100%, TJ. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I just think 39 or 38.77. We got that 50 moving average on the daily. Probably see a response there. I think the reason we're seeing selling here is just because it's 30. Like, if we look on the SPY, right? If you look at the SPY here, you're at, I guess the SPY's at 383. The SPX is at 38.50, 38.44. So the people are front running this 38.50. So futures are kind of leading up here above the SPX and above the SPY. That's why we're above the 50. But the SPX, the index, and then the spiders are right getting kind of front ran above this 38.50. You kind of see that call wall up there, 38.50. I think they're just kind of selling into this spot, more or less as a technical analysis, 38.50, a good average in type spot for a longer term frame trader, and a really easy number to remember. Seeing the NASDAQ breath here pick up once again. Definitely still a fairly tight range. I mean, even though we did get a nice move off the low comparatively, I mean, the average daily range has been about 86 points. Yeah, actually about like 90 points, 86, 90 points. And we're trading like 38, 3800, 3850. I mean, under 50 points here. Or just about 50 points here. So we're in a lower a lower moving day comparatively to previous days. What's this guy? I hate seeing people walk around in my name. What the fuck are you doing?
Got like a red dot on his chest.
Well, I'm just like so the neighborhood that I live in, there's only one way in and there's only one way out, and like the only reason that you should be up here is if you live up here, and he's walking around. It's like, and I live on a fucking hill. Like this hill like overlooks the entire city. So like if you're walking up here, like you're earning it. You know, you're burning some fucking calories. So
Brad's in the sniper tower. Dude's got
yeah,
a red dot on his chest.
wondering what he's doing. Nasdaq's still holding trend pretty well.
Could this 54 like bottom of this balance zone act as resistance and we just rotate back down as well? So you have to kind of like watch to see if it gets accepted, right?
Right, exactly. And if we look like on the daily here, you have this opening here, which is at 38.78. I mean, and you have this close here, 38.72. I mean, that's kind of really the only spot that I see maybe getting some resistance before this 38.72, 38.78. Because we're pretty much, this is a 24-hour chart I switched it to, but we're pretty much back up in there, and we're getting a lot of rotation up here. We're seeing the breadth really start to pick back up. There's some single prints for us. But I mean, yeah, with this 38.50 being such a psychological level, you could definitely see some profit takers come in and then some shorter time frame sellers come in. And I mean, watch this trend here. Break of this trend probably takes us back down to the 50. The 50 moving average, which is right around 38.50. Not a very, not a very big move, but this is a pretty steep trend here. I would say you could probably take another line here and monitor this trend if this trend breaks here. Excuse.
Can you look at ETH?
Yeah. Okay, so tag that 1402 level to the tick, which is right where that previous high was at. And then we've got that 1419 level above. But I mean, it's doing a fairly decent job. It's doing a fairly decent job holding, up at these highs. We can see, this 1377 level held, really well. And that's just that previous balance area low from this upper range. And so for the most part, the market or the ETH market is just looking to get accepted here above this 1400, and acceptance above that 1400 should take us to that 1419 level. And then in this balance level above, that next level up 37. We have, you know, this VPOC here that we want to be watching out for. We'll put it in purple for VPOC, Virgin Point of Control. So that's that 1454. But look for acceptance above this 40. If you can get some rotations here above this 1419, we have to get accepted above that 1400 first here, but above that 1419, get some rotations up here. There should be a nice move up to this 54 back in that balance. And if you don't get a real strong reaction off of this 54, that target would be, you know, that previous high of value or of balance right here, because we have kind of a 3-day balance and then that liquidation. So kind of a 2-day balance and then a liquidation, I guess. But that high of that balance, I mean, really that 68 is where I'll call that high of balance up there. Then you've got single prints back here as well. Low moving day. Yeah, we were just at 3,600, seems like yesterday, right? Now we're just not even close to it. Just heading up to 77 slowly but surely.
I was gonna say, this is taking a while.
All the best things do, Jared.
That is true. Bulls take the stairs, bears take the window.
Call of Duty comes out in 3 days on Friday. For those of you guys that like to play a little bit of games, the new Call of Duty's coming out. We could get together and do a little party on there. I know Tommy was talking about doing a little poker game throughout the Discord, which would be pretty cool. I don't know if you guys play Texas Hold'em or not, but it'd be pretty cool to get together and just play like a nice fun game of Texas Hold'em. He said that we can do it on Discord somehow, so he's gonna look it up and let us know. But that'd be pretty fun to start getting like some little community events where we can just get together and bullshit, you know, take some time off the market, share some ideas and stuff like that. I think that'd be fun. You know, I like gaming a lot, so. But yeah, other than that, I told my wife I'll take her out to lunch today. You know, she's earned it. So, and the market gave us lunch money today, so
Roach.
teach you how to play both. Call of Duty's fun, man. I love Call of Duty. Even my wife gets down on Call of Duty. She's good too. My wife's probably one of the better gamers that Jared and I play with comparatively to like some of the other ones that
To
we
our
play
guy
with.
friends.
Yeah, she's very good. Of course, you know,
Just-
she's done the real thing in Afghanistan, so she's got that real world experience. That helps her out a little bit. But yeah, other than that, you guys make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And I will catch you all later.